So at a glance, this vehicle has Blue Cruise. So not only do you have the adaptive cruise control where you can set a following distance and you can cut lane centering on. The big difference with the cruise control now compared to a couple years ago is the lane keeping system used to be reactive, where if you would come up to a line, the vehicle would just nudge you back. And the situation that would put you in is if you were driving somewhere where there was a lot of road work and there were old traffic patterns, or if it was a really narrow road, the vehicle would be bouncing back and forth from line to line, almost like you were playing Pong. Where now, you've got the camera and it is constantly, to the tune of something like 7,000 times a second, watching the distance and measuring from that tire to that line and that tire to that line on the street. And it's constantly keeping itself centered. What that gives you is when the vehicle is following the lanes on the road, it is smoothly following those lanes and not just nudging you away from the lines. It never takes control away from you. You're always able to steer over a line if you want or speed up and slow down. But in the absence of driver input, the vehicle will pretty much drive itself. With Blue Cruise, it is hands-free highway driving, or hands-free, highway driving assist. They say that to cover their butts, but it pretty much drives itself as long as you're awake and making sure there's nothing going on crazy in front of you. But even if you don't have the Blue Cruise, even if you're on a back road, if it is well marked, once you set the cruise control, it does 99% of the work. I love it so much. And for some people, it takes a second to get used to, but once you do get used to it, it is well worth it. This vehicle also has a heads-up display that's going to be really hard for me to show you in this light, but I think we can see it right there reflecting off the glass. You've got 360-degree cameras. Of course, you can zoom in front and back if you need to drive onto a trailer or into a car wash. And then we have additional views such as a front 180-degree trailer side views and much more. You've got Pro Trailer Backup Assist, which is a pretty neat system where the vehicle will pretty much park the trailer for you. There's a bit of a learning curve, but it's a nice tool to have. Four-wheel drive, of course, trailer brake controller. And this being a Tremor, it also has Trail Turn Assist, which it's amazing. Look it up. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. It's not quite a zero turn radius on the truck, but it is pretty close. We also have the slick little interior work surface, whether this is for a laptop or lunch, you got that covered for you. And then wireless charging as well, in addition to upfitter switches, panoramic vista moonroof, and much more. Honestly, we could spend an hour just talking about what you can do with these 5 buttons on this display behind the steering wheel. I'm not going to do that to you. But if you do have any questions, both now and down the road, if you can see it from where we're sitting now, I can walk you through it in my sleep, so I'm just a phone call away. Moving on. Another really cool feature that they've added in these. Most people have seen these compartments underneath the second row seat. What a lot of people don't know is you can actually lock this seat down. There's a keyhole right there. You can lock this seat on top of it. And it's not a cast iron safe, but it's sturdy enough to where if you do have any sort of valuable in there, no one's going to be able to smash a window, grab it, and run in a few seconds. They're going to have to spend, 5-10 minutes with a crowbar trying to pry this apart to get to whatever might be in there. It's a great disincentive when theft is often a crime of opportunity. It takes that opportunity away. A little bit of dirt right there. These are not scuffs, that's just dust. I love those seats. The yellow sort of shines through those vent holes. have a window sticker here. Equipment group 402A, bed utility package, tow and haul package, wireless charging pad, trailer brake controller, moonroof, tray style floor liners, and then Blue Cruise with the 90-day trial and the Pro Access tailgate. The Blue Cruise, like I said, it's great, but even if you don't feel like paying for the Blue Cruise after the trial runs out, the cruise control that's built into the vehicle and that you have forever is almost mechanically identical. I don't think I can legally tell you it drives itself, but if you're awake and half paying attention, it pretty much does. Completely off the record, you know. Don't want to be held liable for telling someone the car can drive itself, but I've used it going from Atlanta back home, and done very little of the work myself.